Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a tutorial on carving a tree, similar to the Christmas tree video I recently put out. I'm going to be carving it out of this log, and we're going to carve it right here in the shop. Be sure to stick around and check it out. Like I said, we're going to be carving a tree right here in the shop today. It's pretty chilly outside, and honestly, I figured, you know what, I got these battery saws, and we'll just do a small carving right here for you guys. So I'm going to be running my MS-160 and my MS-200, both battery saws. One's got regular bar here that comes with it, just a 12-inch bar, and then we've got the 12-inch dime tip quarter pitch bar on the other saw. Now the plan is to just start off creating a cone shape down the log. So you need a cone. It's got to be pretty narrow at the top and work its way down, kind of like a regular tree, you know, nice and narrow and work its way out. You're going to have to work your way around the log. Now this one has a little bit of a curve, so if we're done, if I can get it right, maybe the top of the tree will have a nice little bend to it. Not sure yet. We'll see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do though is either mark it or eyeball it. You guys can mark the center of your log, see where it is, and start angling your cuts down and away. Now this isn't going to go all the way down. This is in my jaw horse, and so I don't plan to carve all the way to the jaw horse, but I want to carve to about 1 inch above it. So I'm going to stop all my cuts, any cuts. These might not go that far down, but when I do the trunk for the tree, they're going to stop 1 inch or so before the base, or maybe 1/2 inch, however comfortable you are with your saw being that close to the jaw horse. You don't want to hit it and mess up your chains. So right now we're going to start with some angled cuts. We're going to come in with the bar and turn it and cut down. Let's see here if I can get you guys. All right. What I want to do is start rounding those corners. You're going to start making more cuts down and getting rid of that hard corner you just created. We're going to be making like U-shaped cuts, so down and up. It's kind of going to be the motion we're making. So we're going to start up. This bar is a little too big for this piece, so I'm going to switch over to the dime tip bar and continue to make these cuts. Now, the best way to do this is by going all the way around. When you're carving these, set yourself up so you're able to have your chainsaw angled like this, and you can walk all the way around your piece safely. It's going to make it easier as you make these branches go all the way around if you can walk all the way around the piece. Saw's angled, pretty good angle. Start up and come down and back up is basically the motion we're going for. Okay, so we got a couple branches, right? We're going to start in the middle of this branch and U-shape it down and over to the middle of that branch, and so on all the way around. I'm not going very deep. I'm only going like, you guys see how tall the chain is? I'm only going that deep, maybe a little bit more, not much. and start cutting up underneath the branches. Angled in and up underneath. We should be getting wedges out. Trying to do is look and see where the bottom of those branches are. I'm going to cut in and swoop it out. Cut in, swoop it out, and do that all the way around and kind of thin that trunk. As most of you guys know, I use the Sabertooth flame bit for everything. Now the flame bit could come in handy for cleaning this up, or you could get the Sabertooth tapered bit. Now the tapered bit's a bit longer and it has more of a gradual taper instead of that chunky flame look, kind of like that. With the taper bit, you're able to get up under here a little more and kind of clean these branches off. You want to kind of smooth them out a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to smooth those out. And then I'm going to come up here at the top of the tree and kind of round it in because it's sort of flat and real sharp edges looking. Well guys, there you have it. The carving portion of the tree is done. Now I recommend before you guys even start, get all the bark off. Alright, this piece was frozen and outside and I brought it in quick so I could shoot this video. Wasn't even thinking, just left the bark on and went at it. But now I've got to try to get that off and hopefully it doesn't break my limbs off, my branches. I try to get that bark off. So it will probably come off without much of a hassle because I've got to let my tree sit for a few days and warm up, as this piece of wood is pretty frozen. Due to it being outside and being such a fresh cut, it's frozen. Like I can feel it. It's froze right up. So it's really, really green, really wet. But that stuff carves the best. But there is some downsides to carving such green, wet wood. And one of those big things is this thing is going to crack like crazy. It was a solid chunk, just a piece of branch. And what that means is it's going to shrink around the center of the log. It's going to shrink around the center. Why? Because the outside is going to shrink faster than the inside as it dries. So as it dries, this is your log, the center, right? The outside dries faster than the center, and so your log will do this this is where there's a crack. Okay. Now, if you can get it even dry, sometimes you get a lot of little checking, sometimes you get one large crack. It just depends on the tree and how it dries and the piece you're using. Now, a lot of times I'll take a big chunk and I'll cut it into quarters. You know, if I got a big piece and I want to make a lot of smaller stuff, I'll quarter it. You guys should all know what quartering means. Basically, make 4 pieces out of that one by cutting them this way, so you get pie shapes. And then when you carve those, relieved a lot of the stress. There's nothing for it to crack around per se. Now, they still can crack and will crack, but it may not be as bad as carving a piece like this. This is going to crack. Where? I don't know. But that's why I'll let it sit for a few days here in the shop. Hopefully that crack will develop here in the heat and I can see where it is. See if it's really going to affect the piece, if I should let it dry farther before any repairs, or if it's even going to be worth a repair. Such a small piece, in my opinion, isn't really worth the repair. I'm using the Krylon spray paint, rattle can, whatever you want to call it. This is just Hunter Green. And what I would do, obviously shake it up real good, is get a piece of cardboard, which I don't really have one readily available. All right, I got this piece of Luan. Piece of cardboard, Luan, whatever. Sometimes I take the side of a cereal box. That works just as good. And what you want to do is hold this piece underneath like this as you spray paint. You're kind of going to angle up as you paint, right? Like that, a little bit. And get closer to do these pieces. I know I was going to wait till it dried, but it's okay. All right, and you work this piece around. Now, why the piece of cardboard or whatever you're using here? Why? Even as you get higher in the tree, keep it underneath your branches. What is the point of this? Anybody? Class? Raise your hand if you got the answer. That's all right, I'm going to tell you anyway. If you look where I painted, we don't have a bunch of green down here in our tree trunk, right? So it keeps the overspray from being down there on the tree trunk where you don't want it. Now, after we use the saber-tooth bit or whatever you're going to use to clean it up, you can take it outside and hit it with the torch quick. The dark colors from the torch will highlight your branches, giving you more of a shadow effect. You could burn your trunk and have it a nice brown color. Those are all details that you guys can do. And by now, most of you should be working on either burning or painting your carvings if you've been following along for a while. So I shouldn't have to show you how to burn it, but basically just take a torch and hit it real quick and brush it off with a brush and then go right into painting. Obviously, make sure there's no hot embers, coals, or flames on your carving when you start to spray that paint, because if there is, you might create a big flame and a mess for yourself. So things to keep in mind when you guys are working on this, okay? These are pretty simple, pretty easy, and pretty quick. So if you could get maybe, I don't know, get a half a dozen of these logs cut and ready to go, you could probably knock those out pretty quick in a day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, though. Just doing a little carving here in the shop. I think the next video we're going to do another tree, but we're going to do it with some scrap pieces. Pieces left over from other carvings, and actually some pieces left over from that 3-foot tree I did. Those wedges that we cut and they fell off. We're going to carve some trees out of those and, see what we can do with some scraps. Make some money with that scrap wood. Doesn't always have to go in the burn pile or the dumps. So be sure to stick around and hit subscribe, hit the bell that pops up so when that video is uploaded, you guys will be alerted when it's there. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.